In this episode we try to start this 40-year-old Volkswagen for the first time after many years of sitting. Hello and welcome. Matthias is picking me up really early in the morning because today a new classic Volkswagen is getting added to the crew. But first we need to pick up its new owner, so we're driving to his house. After checking out how his project BMW E30 is sitting on its new lowering springs, the man of the hour arrives. After fetching his tools, we can finally hit the road in search for some classic German metal. We arrived at an old abandoned hangar filled with a dusty collection of barn finds. We love exploring places like this. After messing about with the biggest turbo we have ever seen, we moved on to the car that we came for. This, a 1980 Volkswagen Jetta Mk1. The Volkswagen Jetta is basically a sedan version of the Golf. It is built in exactly the same way, so many parts are interchangeable. This one has been sitting in a hangar for over 10 years and its previous history is unknown. The current owner got it through a trade and never got into making it roadworthy, so that's why it has been sitting. It is powered by a 1.3 liter carbureted 4-cylinder engine producing 60 horsepower, which isn't really desirable. However, the reason why Elias is so interested in this car is because it has a really low mileage. 56,000 kilometers to be exact, which is pretty uncommon for a car of this age, and it shows when you look how clean it is under the hood. Unfortunately, there are some rust spots on the fenders, but we didn't spot any structural rust. Later in this video you'll see that we are kind of wrong about that. But we're happy with what we see, so the purchase was made and we could start by pushing her outside for the first time in 10 years.
Wow. Nou, nu is het nog mooi, dan denk ik. Dat is goed zo. Ja, anders staat er naartoe, hè? We moeten er eerder nog wel oppompen.
It feels great releasing another classic from its dusty tomb. However, the broad daylight revealed something that spoiled the mood a little bit. This. A ravine of rust located in the engine bay near the driver's side fender. We overlooked it while it was hiding in the shadows of the hangar, but now it sticks out like a sore thumb. The previous owner was surprised that this hole was there, so we made an extra deal. He has an empty Mk1 shell laying around that he'll add to the deal if we take the Jetta. This hangar is going to be demolished in a couple of months, so it needs to be emptied anyway, and he didn't fancy going through the effort of selling it. Great for us because now we can cut out any parts we need to weld into the Jetta. The deal was made, so we continued with getting the thing roadworthy, starting with checking it up and changing the wheels and tires. With it jacked up, Elias and I could take a first glance at how the underside of the car looks, and to our relief, everything was straight as an arrow. While Matthias kept changing the wheels, Elias and I mounted the bumpers. With the last wheel being changed, we are rigging up a fuel pump to suck out all the fuel because it probably will have gone bad. We're using an old fuel pump and supplied it with 12 volts from the battery booster, and the execution went perfectly. When she's emptied, we fill her up with a fresh supply of fuel. After quickly going over some things, we could mount a battery. The car didn't come with a battery, nor did we bring one. We found one laying around that, unsurprisingly, was completely dead, but we needed one to keep the car running. And then to get the car started, we will use the battery booster.
Staat je op 12?
Ja.
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 Backfire. Focus gewoon op hem.
Nice, hè? She's running pretty strong while the choke is pulled out, but without it she can't idle. We tried tweaking the car, but it didn't really help, so we're leaving the choke partly on. After fastening the battery with the biggest zip ties I have ever seen, we can take the car for its first drive in many years.
We zullen gewoon daar.
Ja. Remt is?
Wacht even. Hij remt wel. Bijna naar het stuk. En daar kunnen we ook op die plek. Hier zit hij in de show. Hoor je dat?
Dat klinkt als een lager. Of je remmen dat blijven hangen. Nice. Was dat vol gas?
Nee. En heb je gewoon remmen aan het doen.
Oh. The 5-minute drive went surprisingly well, so we immediately decided that it's okay to drive the third home. And I was really confident we could make it. To button up the car, we're giving the windscreen a quick professional detail, so Elias is at least able to see when the engine explodes in his face. So we just finalized everything that needed to be done. So I guess we're driving her home, which is a really daunting task because it has been quite a while since this car has moved anywhere. So yeah, I think we have a 30-kilometer drive ahead of us. Let's hope we get there. After saying goodbye, we could get on the road and enjoy a nice and relaxing afternoon drive in the sun.
Here we go.
It all went great. Until this happened. The car shut off while we were sitting at this busy intersection, and because our battery was kaput, we couldn't start it again. We pushed it to the side of the road, and to supply us with electrical juice, we hooked up Matthias's Seat, because our battery booster was also dead. After starting her, we got in front of the light again, and it died again. After pushing her to the side of the road, we called it and decided we weren't going to go any further. The car is probably stalling because the battery is completely dead and the alternator can't supply the engine with enough electricity. The roads going to the hangar don't require any idling, it's all straight roads, so we decided we're going to bring it back and get it another day. Not only did we have the idling issue to worry about, but it also was a very hot day and the car started getting very hot, so we maxed out the heater in the hope that we wouldn't overheat. We got back safely and worked out with the previous owner that he'd use a tow truck to deliver the car, so we pushed her into the hangar again and said goodbye. A few days later, the Jetta ultimately got delivered, and that concludes today's episode. If you like the content, please consider subscribing, and if you want to see more about this car, please leave it in the comments. I really listen to what you guys want to see. But anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time.